Hello, this is a part 2 of my drawing the main characters of MLP. Spoiler alert, I got a little bit carried away and drew more than just the last two. Like a reward. You should totally go watch part 1 to see the other ponies. Okay, drawing time. So how I'm doing these is I'm telling you my thoughts behind everything, plus what I'm calling TVVBU, the very vague, brief, uneducated history of the style I choose for them. For Twilight, I wanted to lean more into dark academia, as I think most people do with her. Honestly, her original design in Equestria Girls is not that bad. I just think it's got that 2010 stench to it, you know? I ended up having a hard time, finding equilibrium between her saturated-ass color palette of, purples and pinks and dark academia, you know. It's in the name, it's quite dark. And it's generally browns and stuff, and so that was a bit of a pain, but I managed it, kind of. And right here you can see I originally wanted to give her pants, because she just feels more like the type to dress conventionally. I mean conveniently, what? But then the fashion girly in me kicked in, and I caved. And rereading my original plans for her, I gave in to the pretty side and less logical side way more than intended. I apparently originally planned for her to have eye bags from staying up working and reading, maybe paper cuts with band-aids from I was about to explain what a paper cut is from. Then I also thought that she could maybe have a wrist brace from reading and writing too much. Comfier clothes. Honestly, man, happy I gave into the societal pressures of beauty standards. Just looks so much better this way. As I said in the last video, I don't like to just slap their cutie marks on their design like Equestria Girls. Certain someone. I think it looks quite tacky, so I kind of tried to put some sparkles and stuff on her design, which we'll see more later in the coloring process. Now, time for my uneducated history. In looking it up, I just found out that part of Dark Academia is inspired by Dead Poets Society, which I have not seen, but I'm very curious in, and apparently the main inspiration is from a novel called The Secret History. What Google says the summary of the novel is: the gripping tale of a group of classic students at a New England college who are involved in the murder of a classmate. The novel explores the complex relationships between the friends and the impact the incident has on their lives. I promise, I can speak my first language. I tell you about Dead Poets Society, but I'm running out of time. For the background, I did basically slap her cutie mark on it. We're not going to talk about how I mentioned that was tacky. I'm a hypocrite, I know. I just wanted it cute, man. I accidentally, forgot to hit record at the beginning of this, so we're not gonna talk about it. For Sunset Shimmer, that's tongue twister, bro. For Sunset Shimmer, I really went in blind. I had barely any idea what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to make her feel alternative, because she's the closest one to actually being alternative, because she's the villain. So of course she is. I feel like now's a good time to mention I ain't seen the movies in a long ass time. I probably should have re-educated myself on them, but that's too much work. Watching 1 or 3 kids movies, I want to be a YouTuber. That's just too much work. My inspiration for her was kind of not the rock star's girlfriend, she is the rock star girlfriend. Because, the little I do remember from this movie, she's a singer, and it's Battle of the Bands type thing at some point, I think, and so it felt fitting. So I thought that where this style comes from was pretty damn self-explanatory, and I looked it up, and the freaking AI thing on Google is trying to tell me that the rock star girlfriend aesthetic is a TikTok trend inspired by the styles of celebrities like Kourtney Kardashian and Megan Fox. Goodness gracious, my voice just broke bad. Anyways, I thought that this fashion trend was inspired by 60s up rock, mainly 90s. Apparently I was wrong. Or the AI on Google's wrong. One of those things is a little bit more believable to be inaccurate. Here you can see me actually freaking going ham trying to figure out the colors of her pants. Oh my gosh, we're gonna ignore what just happened on the screen. I had quite the difficult time figuring out what quite to do with her color palette, because the original one, I feel like it's pretty unique. Like, generally, her hair is the only red thing on her outfits. I don't know. Also, I was a dumbass and decided to not look up her cutie mark till around the end, because I was just like, yes, of course, I remember, because I'm a genius. Oh, also, when looking at pictures for references, kept seeing, like, kiss mark stuff, and so I was like, she could have that as a tattoo. Here you can see I actually looked up the cutie mark, and I had no idea what to do to the background for her. Last but not least, a lot of people's favorite character, Fluttershy. Personally, I did really like her as a kid because I was shy, and she's shy, so match made in heaven, truly, and I think that's why a lot of people also liked her. So I immediately wanted to change basically everything about her Equestria Girls outfit. I feel like they focused on making her the girly feminine one so much that they lost her personality. Personally, I feel like she would wear less revealing things. Also, I had the idea that when she's with just the animals, she pins her hair up because she trusts them, and so they trust her. Because at least dogs get uncomfortable when unable to see your eyes, and with cats, if you close your eyes at them, it's a sign of trust, and that's why they do it to you. So the ideas that I had written down for her was that she likes cottagecore and fairy grunge, which feels a bit obvious. I also really liked the idea that she's kind of an elder emo. Like, there's this really specific vibe of people who are no longer emo, but once were. And a lot of the ladies, like, go kind of hippie, so I gave her plugs. Thanks, Iris. I have it written down that maybe Rarity taught her how to sew, and I'm slowly realizing I had that written down for a lot of them. It's my only unique idea that's probably not even unique. And then, just with absolutely nothing else, I've written down Stevie Nicks? So, what Google has to say about the cottagecore aesthetic is that it romanticizes rural living and is characterized by rustic decor and fashion. Also, it comes from like ancient Greece, and apparently they idolized the region of Arcadia as a pastoral paradise and a natural peaceful place where nymphs and other creatures lived. So like Greek mythology stuff. And I love Greek mythology. Please, if anyone would be interested in watching me draw gods and goddesses and stuff, let me know, bro. Then what Google says like fairy grunge came from was like pandemic time as a form of escapism, which would make sense, but I feel like it probably did actually start before then. Another thing it's saying is that it has strong roots in early 2000s YA fairy fandom. Oh, but of course, it stands for young adult, and I totally knew that, and I did not have to look that up. So here's what they look like all together. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any suggestions of other things you'd like me to draw, let me know. I realize I went this whole video without making a single joke to something. So let this song be the outro.
Can we pretend that airplanes